Good afternoon, I'm Jackie Corasani. I'm the lead organizer of the PioPitch program here at Marietta College. I want to welcome you to our very, very first session in the academic year 2015-16. Couple things I want to say, and then I turn it to Taylor Walker, who's going to introduce our first speaker. So this is the first time you may hear it, but this PioPitch program is going to have a baby sister called PioBiz Business Plan Competition. But it's basically open to Marietta College juniors. They can actually come up with business plans and compete with each other for some financial help. I don't want to say too much on that. There is going to be an information session September 30th, 5 to 6 p.m. in McDonough Gallery. So if you're juniors majoring in anything, this is not just for leadership or business or anything like that, majoring in anything at Marietta College, this is for you. Just come and find out more about it. Dr. Perucci also promises us that we're going to have pizza and refreshment too. All right, I turn it in to Taylor.
So Dr. Jane Casas, she's a board-certified endocrinologist and a leader in regenerative medicine, and her work mostly focuses on endocrinology and diabetes and metabolism. And her passion for total wellness and weight management led her to start Wellness 360 Comprehensive Lifestyle Center in Marietta, Ohio, where she serves as the Chief Medical Officer. So, Dr. Jane Casas.
Thank you so much, Dr. Corasani, for having me here. This is such a rare opportunity for me to be here, for someone from the traditional mold of healthcare to be here. This is an unfamiliar territory for me. So this is I'm particularly excited about this event because I'm here to learn from you guys. So this is another way around from my day-to-day job, because I usually give stuff for my patients to learn and take home, but now you're gonna let me do some stuff for me to take home. So I'm particularly excited about this whole thing. I'm just so happy to be given this opportunity to share to you my lifelong passion, which is total wellness.
I am Dr. Jane Casas, a board-certified endocrinologist, and Wellness 360 is a comprehensive lifestyle center located at the heart of historic Marietta, where traditional medicine meets cutting-edge technology. People who come and seek help at Wellness 360 are those patients who did not get enough help from traditional medicine. We have a unique approach in treating our patients here at Wellness 360. Where I provide a full hormonal and metabolic evaluation. And from this, I provide a customized treatment plan for my patients to help them optimize their results.
When I mentioned to my orthopedic surgeon that I was having the PRP, he was familiar with it, and he was actually quite interested to see what was going to come of the treatment. And when I went back at that final week, and they did the x-rays and saw that the break had totally healed in 4 weeks. He said, let's try putting weight on the foot, see what happens. And I was able to walk on it right then with no pain and no problem. And he actually called in 2 other orthopedic surgeons to see and said, you've got to send Dr. Casas my congratulations, because it's just amazing.
Well, stem cell therapy has a lot of promise and positive results on the patients that I treat, such as those patients who have chronic joint pains, chronic fatigue, and patients who have diabetes who would like to seek other forms of therapy for diabetes. And in this way, I would be able to see them here at Wellness 360 and offer them some ways to address their chronic diseases that are not offered with traditional medicine, and that is stem cell therapy, IV nutrition, and hyperbaric therapy.
Before, I could not lift my arm. It hurt so bad here that I just let it hang on my body. I didn't even try to use it anymore. Since I've had the PRP, I can do everything with my left arm that I can do with my right arm now. I have no problem with it anymore. It's just perfect.
I was about 76, and I felt like I was 90. And the reasons were that my shoulder killed me all the time, my stomach was always a mess, my hiatal hernia medicine did not do anything to really help it, it didn't seem like, And so she did a full blood workup on me to find out everything that was wrong. And among the things that were wrong was I had very, very low testosterone levels. That's part of why I was feeling so bad. And she treated my stomach in a way that no one had before, which I don't know what the medicine was, but it fixed it. I stand straighter, I walk better, I walk faster. And not because I'm trying to walk faster, it's just that I have the energy and the strength to do what I want to do.
The best way to experience Wellness 360 is to come to Marietta for a 3-day weekend retreat for a full health makeover. During the 3-day weekend retreat, one can expect to have a full hormonal and metabolic evaluation, IV nutrition, hyperbaric therapy, and stem cell therapy. One could also choose to have laser treatments. They can also spend time with my lifestyle coach and my lifestyle chef to learn tips on how to totally commit to a healthier lifestyle. The philosophy of Wellness 360 is not just to treat chronic diseases, but this is the place where I can make my patients look good, feel good, and really commit to a healthier lifestyle so that they can enjoy a better life and a fuller life.
I'm really so excited to share this to you, particularly with the young minds here in this event. So I'm so glad to be given this opportunity. So thank you for being here. My lifelong passion was in full fruition in 2011. In 2014, I put up my training and research institute on cell medicine, where we train doctors to do the stem cell procedure. So we had some doctors who come in from different places in the world to be trained. Unfortunately, 2 years ago, I had a really bad road bike wreck while I was training for the Ironman. I had a horrible, horrible injury on my face and on my arm. So I lost quite a big amount of skin off my face. So I'm just so lucky. I did so many work on basic science research, and I did regenerative medicine, and I know so much about stem cell therapy that I was able to successfully grow back skin on my face. So during this journey, I really was able to appreciate Wellness 360 for myself, not just for what I can share to the community, but personally, it was a great journey for me. In 2015, this year, I launched Healing Saint. Healing Saint is the catalyst for my personal care product line, which is a skin serum that really healed my scars on my face, and a scalp serum to make your hair grow back. I launched this website in November 2014. And after that, 2 weeks later, I got a phone call from the Recording Academy that they want my product line at the Grammys and the Oscars. I don't have any idea what the gift bag is and what the gift lounge is. You know, I came from the Philippines. What do I know, right? I'm so focused on my job as a doctor. So I had no idea what it is that I asked them to call me back. But anyway, it was a phenomenal journey. I'm here to present to you what Healing Saint is all about.
By combining science, polypeptide-enriched media, which are natural growth factors, with nature, vitamin B, and natural botanicals, a revolutionary approach to aging skin and hair loss was developed. Introducing Healing Saint Luminosity Skin Serum and Hair Follicle Stimulant. Products free from endocrine-disrupting chemicals. Through a personal injury, Dr. Jane Cassis, a leading endocrinologist, was driven to learn about wound healing technology and to better understand its ability to enhance the body's self-repair and self-renewal potentials. The Healing Saint Luminosity Skin Serum gently and effectively reduces the appearance of fine lines. The formula also fades age spots, minimizes uneven skin tone, and increases luminosity. The Healing Saint Hair Follicle Stimulant is a formula that vitalizes hair growth, reduces and prevents further hair loss, thickens hair roots, and also reduces premature hair breakage. Discover it for yourself. Healing Saint, healing through science.
So I had this rare opportunity to be with people that I never knew in my life. When they told me that I'm gonna see LL Cool J, I have no clue who LL Cool J was, so I'm so sorry until that fateful day when he was like right in front of me and I don't even know who he was. So anyway, this was like, you know, all the things that I had experienced during that time for a week. So, and then this is Healing Saint. So this is my first taste of Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So I was forced to do social media, which I have no clue, except my kids are so good in Instagram. Just recently, my hair follicle stimulant was ranked #1 by one of the beauty sites. We were so lucky that we had some celebrity following on social media. So that's great for how young the product line is. I'm just quite fortunate and grateful about it. So far, we have 6,000 likes on our Facebook, but I don't know how to tweet. But I think my PR company is doing the tweet. I mean, I don't do all these things. I don't know anything about it, except for my personal Facebook page, which I rarely, access. But again, we have 6,000 for now. I do Wellness 360 only 1.5 days a week because I have my usual day job as an endocrinologist across the street. So it's quite overwhelming for me because I have other obligations too. But anyway, what we have done on my website, I also wrote an ebook about how to have luminous skin. That's also to get some people to learn more about me and the personal care product line. And this is now the new website. This is an umbrella website, which is Dr. Jane 360, which actually encompasses two of my websites, the Healing Saint website and Wellness360center.com websites. And so the current campaigns right now, we have local ads on TV, broadsheet, and we participate in the Parkersburg Half Marathon. We have social media campaign in my office through Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I subscribe to MailChimp for newsletters, online specials, and testimonials from clients. And we had short leads for national campaigns. I'm awaiting the publication of my interview with InStyle magazine. I have online sweepstakes and gift giveaways for 6 weeks with the following magazine outlets, as you could see here, In Touch, First Women's World. We have rebuilt our websites because there was like a constant discussion, how would we present it? Is it Healing Saint alone or my Wellness 360 Center alone, or is it should be Dr. Jane 360 and the other things that comes with Dr. Jane 360. We have some regional campaign right now going on. Tomorrow, Healing Saint is a product line for the New York City Ad Caller event, which is like a meeting of all the advertisers in the countries, major advertisers like TLC and stuff like that. We have Healing Saint parties from individuals who wants to distribute Healing Saint all over the country. We were chosen by the Latin Grammys to be the product line in Vegas for the hair follicle stimulant come November. And we have supported Leukemia Awareness Month last month. And we are looking to do future collaboration with cancer centers for post-chemotherapy patients for hair growth, which is just something, I think, an advocacy for Healing Saint. My questions that I really need help from you guys is how else can I optimize my ventures on Wellness 360 locally, because I know this is quite a progressive idea for the community, and it's not cheap to be healthy. This is not covered by medical insurance. I know that for a fact because, I'm in both worlds. I'm in, medical insurance-laden, practice versus cash practice. It's a hard venture, but it's really my passion, and I'm just so lucky I was able to do it. And how else can I more effectively campaign for Healing Saint, both branding and sales? Actually, it's at its infancy, but I really want to see how I can do it locally, regional-wise, and nationwide. Do I highlight my personal experience that served as the catalyst for Healing Saint? Is it going to be vital in marketing if I show my before and after? I'm kind of a little bit timid about it because it's kind of grotesque, but I don't know whether it's going to be a powerful marketing tool. I don't know, or if I'm pushing it too much. And what is the most effective means of branding my ventures? Whether to introduce Dr. Jane 360 as the umbrella for the brand for Healing Saint and Wellness 360, which is, what we have done right now, or have a separate campaign for Healing Saint as a personal care product line and Dr. Jane 360 as a complete service line. With all these questions I have in mind, I'm sure you can give me some other things that I have to think about and ponder. But the thing is, I'm a sole proprietor and I have 4 kids to feed. The finances is not limitless. So, that's the reality of it all. But I'm just so lucky to be in this kind of arena, which really took me a great leap from where I came from. I'm in a traditional healthcare mold. I don't know anything about marketing, about Facebook, Twitter or something, which really belongs to your arena. And I'm just like, someone really new, and I'm in conundrum, like, what am I doing in this world, So that's really where I am, and I'm really, really grateful for giving me this chance, for this opportunity. So thank you.
Based on the number of brands and even the sophistication to think in terms of an umbrella brand, it's obvious that you've done a lot of work on this already. And I like the fact you've branded the business, the product, and effectively the persona. Can you kind of walk us through? I think it would be helpful to understand where you need to go if we had a little better idea of the process that you went through to establish the brands that you already have. Dr. Jane, a little more obvious, something like Healing Saint, maybe a little less obvious. Talk to us, if you would, for a minute about what the process was, what degree of testing on those messages you did.
I really went through a lot of, experimentation, how to be effective in, promoting the brand of Wellness 360, then Healing Saint. But then I said, what am I going to do with this? And then, so these Grammys and the Oscars came, so I'm really like, oh my God, I really have to step up my game, because everybody is going to look at me in a different way. I mean, from national point of view. So I hired two PR companies. So that one is financially draining for me. I know it's a necessary evil, and I really have to work harder just to be able to finance it. And I'm just lucky that there's a good reception to the product line and to the persona. We have so many, media attention, that we got so many media attention for the money that I put out. I think, bigger companies could afford something like that for the same kind of exposure. So I'm just so lucky that the PR company for the Grammys Lounge and the Oscars Lounge is actually my PR company right now who's handling me. They're not cheap, but I think it's quite cheap for a big company because they also take care of L'Oreal and other companies. So I'm really a small fish in the big ocean of marketing. We had so many discussions about how to package me, aside from just packaging the product. So that's quite a challenge. And when do I disengage from Healing Saint? And when do I just embrace Healing Saint under, Dr. Jane? But it seems to be working right now, that it's Dr. Jane behind Healing Saint, because there's so many product lines out there that could really step on me in any direction. And I know that for a fact. We have very loyal clients from all over the country and also internationally. So that one I'm so grateful about. It's not tremendous, but enough to pay for whatever I put out a little bit. I know branding is a huge, huge amount of money, financial endeavor for me. It's just a lot of consultation and a lot of prayers.
Spending as much time and effort as you can on building that primary brand will really pay dividends. It's a mistake that so many people who have not spent a lot of time in marketing make, is to try to populate as many brands and then discover later on the customer really isn't familiar with any of those brands because they haven't had enough opportunities that they don't get to experience based on the fact that you may only get one shot at a brand impression with those customers. So the more compact your brand architecture can be, I think the better the chance that you'll have that someone will remember the brand that you're trying to put out there. I think the Dr. Jane brand, not just as an umbrella brand, but as perhaps even the brand, would be the way to go.
When you talked about packaging Dr. Jane, I was reminded of a case that I was looking at and considering using in one of my classes, which was about marketing Lady Gaga. So if you're ever interested in looking at that case, I can share that with you. It's kind of interesting. Unfortunately, we are not using that in our class, but I have one quick question. What is your relationship like with the medical community? In other words, is Wellness 360 something that physicians in general are supportive of? I'm just trying to understand, do you have a referral base that can be built in, whether it's for Wellness 360 or Healing Saint?
It's a huge challenge, especially in a small town where traditional medicine is deeply ingrained in us. To take this big leap, it's a huge commitment to me financially as a healthcare professional because, I can't taint my persona as an endocrinologist that I've worked so hard for so many years in just, putting up Wellness 360 because this is cutting edge, everything is new, it's cash. I mean, why would you even think about it in a small place? It's a fine line that you have to tread all the time.
We listen to what our physicians tell us, well, most of the time, what our physicians tell us. And so if somebody says, oh, go see Dr. Jane, that could be a huge source of business for you.
Yes, it's great. But wellness, who wants to pay cash? Who wants to pay for perfect health? Nobody. I mean, maybe there's just a few of us who want to do that. This is not the richest area demographically. But again, I'm here. I'm very comfortable with my kids. I love what I do. But it doesn't mean that I cannot transcend beyond this area. That's why our marketing is beyond this area.
Absolutely.
This is my hobby job, so that's what I look at it. I'm just happy to see it flourish from day to day. I mean, just seeing people happy about it, that it's there, just to talk about it, even for my endocrine patients.
I just had a question. I know nothing about business, so I won't be helping you. Is there a direction that your customers or your prospective customers move through your brands? Do people find out about, aside from the umbrella issue that you brought up, do people get into Healing Saint and then realize you have this, or do they find you have this specialized medical service and discover Healing Saint? And I'm wondering if that's an intentional piece. Are they going the way you hope they go?
Locally, it's actually they get to see me at my endocrine office or at Wellness 360, and they found out about Healing Saint. So nonetheless, we put it out on TV. That's the time that they would learn about Healing Saint locally. But outside of Marietta, it's really, Healing Saint. Because I cannot, I cannot market Wellness 360 outside. Although, regionally, I've been marketing Wellness 360 under the umbrella of Dr. Jane 360. And pretty much people come to Marietta for the services and Healing Saint. It's always a constant struggle for me. Here I have to be strong on the service brand than the personal care product line brand, but outside I have to be strong for the product care brand. It's really a mixed emotion for me because then, the one that will really sustain me financially is my service locally. But the one that will feed me out from the outside is my Healing Saint brand. That's why we decided that Dr. Jane 360 will be the umbrella brand.
Do I highlight my personal experience that serves? I would say as a viewer, as an audience member, I would say yes, because that would be more effective of having a paid person. Knowing that you went through it and how effective it was would want me to buy the product even more. And showing you before and after pictures, I think that's a judgment on your call, because you don't want something that's so gruesome where you're going to hurry up and turn the page. But it's also maybe a couple weeks after show a picture like that. But I think it's more beneficial to have your own story, because it's coming from how you feel and why it's so passionate to you. Because once they see the passion, it's going to reflect from the reader. And I'm going to get from that and why you love it so much and why I should buy the product.
I just want to make sure that I do this tastefully and not too abrasive to the readers or to the viewers. So that's great. So I would really look into that seriously.
I absolutely appreciate the branding and the umbrella, but at the same time, it seems like you're really shooting toward two entirely different markets. You've got the retail side. It's pretty much attainable by anyone, as opposed to this ultra-premium personal care service. While I think the branding makes sense under the Dr. Jane umbrella, that there's really got to be two different approaches because you're selling to different people. To that end, on the marketing side, I was curious if you knew, at what point will you consider that relationship? They've obviously done great things for you, gotten you, very high visibility through your PR company, but at what point do you use that and maybe ratchet it back and build off your existing audience to manage costs and to maybe focus in on the people that you've already got their attention?
It depends how many hours in a day there is. Right now, I have to be very, very careful about my finances because I don't want to just go and go and go, and then before I know it, I can no longer do it. So I'm very, very conservative at this time. So I'm pretty much putting a lot of my money right now on branding, and the persona of Dr. Jane. Your feedbacks are well taken because pretty much it's really hard to build a brand. This is harder than being a doctor. But it is truly, truly a huge, huge endeavor. I mean, that's why I salute you guys for doing marketing and economics. Oh my gosh. So yeah, this is really tough. And it's a really tough call because if I'm not careful with my finances, then this very promising product line would just go with me, down the drain. I'm very conscious about it. That's why I'm just doing events that would be probably very significant for me. We had so many media attention during the Grammys and the Oscars for a month, and that one was huge for me. I mean, we have so much traffic on our website, and we have really good sales. Those sales grew, and we have good loyalty. But I think, I'm just lucky enough that we have loyalty right now, and I really want to keep the loyalty of my customers. I want to be big, but I wish I could be bigger. I mean, so.
I'll be introducing Brad Keller, who's a student at the University of Mount Union studying marketing and entrepreneurship. And he recently started a business called MyUniversityListings.
One thing that I'm really going to touch on is what it's really like to be a student entrepreneur. So I'll get into that here in a little bit. So a little bit about myself. I'm a fifth-year student at the University of Mount Union, majoring in marketing. And I have 2 minors, entrepreneurship and computer network security. I did computer science for about 2 years and really just wasn't for me, didn't enjoy it. So I got into marketing, and the way the classes are set up at Mount Union, I'm going a 5th year. But I've also completed 5 internships throughout my college career, 2 of which were with the Timken Company doing IT, and 3 of those were with the Cooper Tire and Rubber Company doing industrial engineering and continuous improvement with their Six Sigma group. I'm a marketing major, and I don't have any marketing internships, but I have a very wide range of other experience. And then, of course, one of the reasons why I'm here, I co-founded MyUniversityListings LLC back in March of last semester. I want to touch a little bit on what it's like to be a student entrepreneur. You hear all these stories about, Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates dropping out of college because they, started their business. But the reality of it is that barely happens. It's important to finish college. What I'm doing right now is I'm running my business literally from my dorm room at school. So my daily routine is generally very busy. I wake up around 7 a.m., do about 2-3 hours of business, go to class. I'm actually a student athlete also, so I spend about 2 hours at practice, come home, do homework, and then usually I send out a few emails before bed. But one thing that's super important is that it's all about balance. When I talk about balance, really it's a balancing act between, you have your school and relationships on one side, and then you have your business on the other side. But of course, school and relationships need to be top priority. The reason why I say that is, in the uncertainty of today's, economy, 9 out of 10 businesses fail when they start. You start your own business, you hope it succeeds, but you still want that fallback plan. So it's super important to stay focused in school. And relationships are important. I say that from a business standpoint. One way to look at friendships is they're free employees. All of my roommates have helped me with my business. I get them to walk around campus for me and hand out flyers, and I don't pay them a dime. I might buy them a couple beers at the bar later, but that's a different story. When I started this business, one thing that I noticed was the constant competition between business and sleep. So, you hear all the time about, I just started this business, I haven't gotten much sleep. That's 100% true. Before I started this, I had my afternoon naps. I used to go to bed at, midnight, wake up at 10. But now, when you have a full student schedule, the only time that you can fit your business in is you either wake up earlier in the morning or you go to bed later at night. I like the quote by Arnold Schwarzenegger, "Don't sleep longer, sleep faster." So I try to sleep as fast as I can. Also, you want to make sure you schedule free time, whenever you get the chance. I'm a huge Netflix addict, so my free time generally consists of spending an hour on the couch watching Netflix doing absolutely nothing. But also, honestly, the most important thing of all is just to have fun with your business. So I spend a lot of time talking to other businesses in the community. I spend a lot of time doing things like this, talking to other students, and I have a blast doing it. That's a big thing. Don't start a business unless you're going to have fun doing it. Big thing as a student entrepreneur is use your free resources to cut costs. If you're not a student, consulting can cost you some serious money. If you're a student, you have so many professors that'll help you out for free. My lawyer is the business law professor at Mount Union. If I wasn't a student, she'd charge me about $300 an hour. I get it for free. Finally, I'm a huge advocate for the student excuse. Okay, so the student excuse is the fact that I can get pretty much any answer to any question I want by using these words. Hi, I'm Brad Keller. I'm a student at the University of Mount Union. Anybody will answer my question. Businesses want to help students out so much, so use the student excuse every chance you get. So MyUniversityListings, it provides a safe and convenient community for college students and faculty to buy and sell items to one another. This acts pretty much just like Craigslist, but it's a heck of a lot safer. When I say safer, I mean there's no anonymous profiles on MyUniversityListings. Craigslist has had over 330 crimes committed due to the anonymous nature of it. Most notably, you hear about the horror stories. You hear about the murders. You hear about people getting ripped off all the time. We put a lot more safeguards in place to prevent that from happening. One thing that we do is you have to have a valid university email address to register for your university. So, for instance, instance, if you want to register for the Marietta page, you have to use your @marietta.edu email address, and it automatically checks that domain, meaning nobody in the community that isn't a Marietta student can register for the page. And also by doing that, your name is attached to every post that you ever make on the site, so everyone knows exactly who they're doing business with at all times. So there's zero anonymity. It's free to use. We don't charge students anything. If students make a sale on the site, we don't take a portion of it. It doesn't cost anything to implement at the university. Basically, we make all of our money off of advertisements on the website. And I know advertisements can be super annoying to look at, but what we try to do is we only sell advertisements to local businesses, businesses that will really benefit from increasing their student traffic. Generally, it's smaller businesses so that they can compete with the larger businesses by getting more business from students. Also, on top of that, our advertisers generally provide discounts exclusively to our members. That's been the case at Mount Union. A lot of our site traffic comes from students checking our promotions page to see what the most recent deals are. So My University Listings, we like to say it was founded out of boredom but developed out of necessity. When I say founded out of boredom, the story kind of goes that me and my roommate of 4 years, Mitch, both on the track team, both entrepreneurship students, we were stuck on campus over spring break for track, and what does a normal college student do over spring break when they're bored? They start a business. That's normal. We decided, okay, so first of all, it has to be cheap because we're college students, we don't have a lot of money. We have to be able to run it from our dorm room because we're not going to buy a place to run this. And it has to be up and running in a week because we wanted to start it in spring break. With that in mind, and a few beers later, My University Listings was founded. So the site was actually up and running and launched in a week. So we met our deadline of getting it up in a week. And when we first started it, we weren't really sure how it was going to go. We didn't do any market research, which I highly don't recommend doing. But luckily, we kind of stumbled on something. We talked to a lot of people after it was all launched, and we found out that this is really like a necessity, like for college students. College students are getting ripped off all the time, and this is something that's going to really help college students out. And since then, we're actively implementing in 6 universities throughout Ohio and Pennsylvania. So a little bit about the future of My University Listings. Right now, we're focusing on growth within the current universities. That's one of our top concerns because we just started implementing in 5 of the universities. One of the universities that we're in is obviously Mount Union, which I take care of. Within those universities, we really want to create a solid user base and start generating revenues from those universities before we really start branching out even further. With that said, we do plan to expand to 4 more universities by the end of this year, Marietta being one of those universities. And kind of how we implement is we hire an intern within the university. Another thing that we're looking into is we're improving our user experience and website reliability. Now, to do that, we've gotten a few quotes from web development firms throughout the United States and have gotten a few quotes trying to figure out how much it's going to cost us to get a custom website done that's going to be very reliable and easy to use for the students. And in order to fund that, we're currently pursuing a business accelerator loan through the TA2 Business Accelerator Alliance, Ohio. So hopefully that comes through for us in the next month or 2 and we can get things going with the website. And it'll also help with a marketing budget. Part of the reason why we're here is to get feedback from you guys. So one question that we have is, what are some cost-effective marketing strategies to reach a wider range of college students? We do a lot of physical marketing, a lot of flyers, stuff like that. We've tried working with the university, but since Mount Union is a 501c3 and we're a for-profit organization, they can't align themselves with us for tax reasons. So we're looking for cost-effective marketing strategies to reach a lot of students. And also, second question is a commission-based pay truly the best way to compensate interns for their work? Right now, how our interns are paid, it's 100% commission, but it's based off of the percentage of the total student population registered on the site. So for instance, if you have 15% of the overall population registered on the site, then you receive 45% commission off of the advertisement sales. So we're trying to figure out, is that the best way to motivate our interns to, you know, really get a lot of students on the site and start selling advertisements?
Are your goals to take this nationwide? Are your goals to build this so that you're attractive to a Craigslist to come and purchase this? You're graduating in a semester and a half or so. Where are you headed with this?
We want to grow this somewhat quick. To be completely honest with you, if we can start this in a week, and I know my personal abilities and my co-founder's personal abilities, then most people can start this in a week. So we need to get this thing going and start growing to the point where it'll be hard to compete with us. On the purchase side, if someone came along down the road and wanted to buy this, there would be discussion. I mean, I wouldn't say no. I do enjoy doing this. It's a passion of mine. I enjoy working every day, so they'd have to offer me something good. We have the interns going for the local advertisements simply because they're the ones that live on the campus. They're the ones that know where all the students like to go. They know all the local businesses. I've been to Marietta probably 4 times in my life. I don't know what the business is. I don't know. So we leave that up to the interns to do that.
I actually teach an e-commerce class. In the e-commerce class, we have a project to ask students to develop an e-commerce business. And quite a few teams actually choose a very similar business model. And 3 teams trying to develop a site to allow students to list things. So I assume there might be a lot of entrepreneurs. They're pursuing same type of business model. So how's the competition? Have you seen any websites which are similar to what you're doing?
Some of the websites that we've seen have been like they show every university in the United States and you have to find your university, and then when you click on your university, it's like it still shows every listing that's on the site total. So what we try to do is we try to make it more personal. Each university has their own website for MyUniversityListings. Honestly, our biggest competitor is internal with universities. So we see a lot of universities posting something like this on their intranet. That's honestly our biggest competition. We've run into that a few times. It's a Craigslist-based transaction. So basically what we do is we set up the meeting, essentially. We introduce the 2 parties to set up where they're going to meet, how much they're going to be paid. We don't handle any money.
You have a plan to hire a development firm to develop your site, right?
We've talked about the possibility of having students. You can pay students a lot less to do it. We've discussed that. It's definitely not out of the question.
I think sometimes commission is a little scary to students. You know, that, oh my gosh, if I don't make X amount, then I don't get paid. Is there some type of additional incentive that says if you reach a certain level, that there's a set amount, like bonus pay?
It is set up so if you have like 5% of the student population on there, you receive, I think it's 25% commission on your advertisement sales. Then it goes up to like 7.5%, 10%. And each time that you get a higher percentage of students on the site, your commission base bumps up by a certain percentage. So it can go all the way up to, if you have more than 50% of your students on the site, you're receiving like 60% commission off advertisements. And that's per month while you're working for us. We base it off of how we grew the company and how we acquired advertisers. It pays the student definitely plenty throughout the semester.
If somebody approaches me and they say they're going to open a cafe, the immediate thing I tell them is during your first week or first month, have all of your family and friends be there all the time saying how great this is and just kind of acting like they're not your family and friends, but they're there enjoying it. Is there a way to force buyers or a way to force sellers to be there, to get to that critical mass?
I recruit all my friends. I told, I'm on the track team, so I sent out emails to the track team, said, hey, everybody get registered. It takes 5 minutes. It's super easy, quick, free. Once I got them on there, I ran promotion saying, hey, every time you post a listing, your name goes into a drawing, and at the end of 2 weeks, 3 people are going to be leaving with $20 Chipotle cards. We got 45 listings out of that, so that was hugely successful.
To the club's idea, I definitely think you're going to want to have more than one person or intern marketing in an area just to create some level of competition between the two, a little bit of incentive, and try and recruit influencers for those positions. Like you said, you were able to leverage your place on the track team to kind of arm twist a little bit to get some buy-in, and if you can do that on each campus, that's going to help. The web development idea is great, but I think you've picked the most expensive possible way to do that. There are great sites like Elance and VDesk where you can hire people directly to do that for a much more cost-effective rate. Or alternatively, you could, if you knew someone who had those capabilities, you could give them a part of your business to go ahead and do that development for you. The final thought I had, just as you go to grow this business, could you create a value proposition as you go to universities that already have a similar site? It's an add-on to them. It may even be a liability if they're facilitating these transactions, and you come in and offer to take that away from them. It's your job. You do it better. The university's not in this business. Let us take it over, and maybe get some buy-in on the university side as you go from campus to campus.
Yeah, with the value proposition at the other universities, one thing that we try to voice to the universities that already have something like this implemented is, just like you said, the liability side of it. Also, one thing that we found is students don't really like to use the ones that the systems that the university set out. I don't know, it might be something like, oh man, the university's watching me, watching what I'm doing. I mean, I've seen the internal sites and there's very, very little traffic, barely any listings, just nothing there. Whereas on our sites, there's more traffic, listings. And another thing that we try to advertise as a value prop would be that our advertisers provide the discounts to students. So students want to use our site more than the internal sites because the internal sites are ran by the university. The university decides if they're going to have advertisers. Most likely they're not going to have any advertisers because they don't need advertisers. The students really don't get any extra benefit from using their website, whereas they do with ours. And then with the web development, that's a great idea. I didn't even think about Elance. I need to get on there and get a few quotes from there. Biggest university that isn't really like a friend of mine, Akron. They're implementing there. I have an intern there that I hired. Miami of Ohio also is starting to begin implementation.
I know graduating with very few people and then seeing where all of my friends went to college. I don't know how many different connections you have in different colleges. Starting in a bigger university would be beneficial. Closest to us would be OU. You do have that foothold in OSU, maybe expanding on that, expanding to bigger universities so there's more of a following.
But the complexity of implementing at a large university like that, we're still honestly a little too young to be undertaking that. It's something where we're going to need a little bit more revenue coming in from the smaller universities to be able to fund having more of a team of interns at those larger universities. Obviously, one intern at a university of over 20,000 students is very daunting, very tough to do, whereas at a smaller university like Mount Union, I can handle it all myself. But yeah, revenue-wise, it makes a lot more sense for us to go for the larger universities, and we'll gain more following and whatnot. But right now, with kind of the position we're in and with how old we are, it's a little bit easier for us to go into the smaller universities.
Looks like you have a mobile version now for your site. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
have you thought about a mobile app? Because if you look at our students right now, most of them are using mobile phones for transactions. Now you're talking about the future growth. I think that will be one area that will really make your site grow. Because with your phone, you can take photos of these books or the items you can sell. They can quickly list their items. They don't have to wait. And they can do transactions anywhere, anytime. So I think that might be money well spent for your next investment.
But that is in our plan. We're looking into the possibility of doing that. It's something that we know down the road we're going to do, just because we know it will be a lot easier on the students if they can just open up an app instead of having to go to the website. That would probably come along with, if we got the funding from the accelerator, that would be something we'd definitely be looking into.
Maybe for an area like Columbus, where you have like Ohio Wesleyan, Otterbein, Capital, a bunch of small schools nearby, does your website have the function, or could it potentially have a function to where maybe these aren't necessarily fully segregated schools, but you could look at the Columbus metro area, and so that way, if I'm at Capital, I can still still see what's going on at Otterbein because it's only 20 minutes away, even though we're not at the same institution, if that makes sense.
The general consensus has been different universities have different policies for their students, and we want those students to follow their university policies. We kind of run into the ethical dilemma of some students might be doing business with a student at another university, and while they're doing that, breaking their university's policy. So that's one thing that we're trying to kind of work past, because it is a great idea to be able to target the smaller universities in the Columbus area, start creating a community, and it'll help us build a big university like Ohio State. There's a few issues we need to sort out before.
Thanks so much. This was wonderful. And next time I want to see a lot of student participation. I mean real participation. You know what I mean. Okay, see you later. Bye.